Let's be honest, whether you're in business, compliance, or finance, you have to make some incredibly high-stakes decisions. But how can you possibly act with confidence when all the information you need feels scattered everywhere, buried in documents, hidden in records? It's the core challenge of doing your homework in today's world, and we're about to look at a completely new way to solve it. And this quote right here, it just nails it, doesn't it? The problem isn't that the data doesn't exist. It's that the signals are fragmented, they're buried, or we just can't connect the dots in time. This is a quiet but really dangerous reality for so many organizations, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to cover. So, before we jump to the solution, let's really dig in and diagnose the problem. Why are the traditional ways of doing this kind of research just not cutting it anymore? I bet these points look painfully familiar. For decades, due diligence has meant hours of manual research, digging through totally separate data sources, all to create a report that's basically frozen in time. But here's the thing, the world doesn't stand still. A background check you run on Tuesday is already old news by Wednesday, leaving you completely in the dark after that first check is done. And this, right here, is the consequence. You're left with this dangerous illusion of certainty. You feel like you've done your homework, but what you're really doing is making a critical decision based on an incomplete, static snapshot of reality. The red flags, oh, they were there, but they were buried, and you can only see them in the rearview mirror. So, fixing this isn't about just working harder or faster with the same old tools. It actually requires a fundamental change in how we think, a real paradigm shift, from just collecting data to actually generating intelligence. This really gets to the heart of the old model's failure. It's all about information retrieval. Basically, you just get a pile of links or a dump of files. But what we actually need is intelligence reasoning. This means the system has to think. It needs to connect the dots between all those scattered pieces of information to give you a single, clear picture of what's going on. And that is precisely what Investigator AI was built to do. It's designed to give you that crucial insight with all the noise, moving us firmly into this new era of intelligence. So, what is it exactly? Well, Investigator AI isn't just another search tool. Think of it as a computational reasoning engine. It completely transforms due diligence from a static one-and-done checklist into a living, breathing, automated process. It's really built for those decisions where you absolutely cannot afford to be wrong. Okay, now this is incredibly important, especially when we talk about trust. Let's be crystal clear about what Investigator AI is not. It is not a surveillance platform. It is not a law enforcement system. It's not some mysterious black box that spits out a score you can't understand. And most importantly, it is not a replacement for human judgment. It's designed to be an assistant, a tool that makes you smarter and more clear-headed, not one that takes control. Okay, so that all sounds good, but how does it actually do it? Let's pop the hood and look at the core features that directly solve the problems we were just talking about. All right, here's a classic problem that's also super high risk. You've got a J. Smith mentioned in a court record over here and a John Smith in a contract over there. Are they the same person? In the manual world, figuring this out is a nightmare. It's slow, tedious, and filled with guesswork. The solution is a feature called entity resolution. Basically, the system uses some really sophisticated analysis to connect all these different data points, and it can tell you with a high degree of confidence who you're really dealing with. It just cuts right through that fog of ambiguity to give you a clear, unified profile. Now here's another huge danger zone: hidden relationships. A standard report might say a business partner looks squeaky clean, but what it can't see is that they're indirectly connected to a sanctioned company through a whole web of shell companies. We call this a second-order risk, and it's completely invisible to traditional checks. And the solution to that is the living graph. Instead of just looking at people and companies as isolated dots, Investigator AI maps out this entire invisible spiderweb of relationships, connecting directors, shareholders, you name it, to expose those hidden risks that are lurking just below the surface. The whole system is really built on two more ideas that turn static data into living intelligence. First is continuous reassessment. It treats risk like a living object. So if a partner who was clean yesterday suddenly gets hit with a lawsuit tomorrow, you get an alert. It never sleeps. And second, explainable intelligence. This is huge. Every single finding links back to a specific source document you can check. It shows its work, making the whole process transparent and totally defensible. So let's just be really clear about the philosophy here. This is not about AI taking over anyone's job.
It's about creating a powerful partnership between smart technology and human expertise.
I absolutely love this analogy. I think so many people get this wrong, framing AI as some kind of competition. It's not. It's a lever. A lever doesn't replace the person doing the lifting, it gives them the power to lift something that was impossible before. That is exactly how we should be thinking about a tool like this. And this human-centered approach is baked right into how it's even set up. It starts with what they call a diagnostic-first methodology. So before any software even gets installed, an advisor comes in, maps out your current way of doing things, finds the real bottlenecks, and checks if your systems are stable. The whole goal is to make sure the AI is enhancing a solid process, not just putting a fancy new coat of paint on a broken one. So, what's the end game here? What's the ultimate outcome of shifting to this new model of intelligence? Let's bring it all together. This is the transformation. It's a fundamental shift. You're going from operating on assumption to acting on hard evidence. You're moving from being reactive to having actual foresight. And ultimately, it's about going from that nagging state of uncertainty to one of informed, confident action. And this really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question. You see, a tool like this doesn't just answer, is this person a risk? It helps you answer a much more powerful question. Out of everything going on, what should we be paying attention to right now? It filters out all the noise and shines a spotlight on what truly matters, giving you the clarity to focus on the right things at the right time.